Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to make sure that there's some clarity between pollution and CO2, because we're always going after CO2. Nobody wants pollution. CO2 is different. CO2 makes up 0.4% of our total atmosphere. Less than 1/2%. But we're going to put a price tag of $275 billion on business owners in the state of Maryland to reduce that with no proof that it even changes the temperature of the earth. It is essential to life. The reason people are told to speak to their plants is because plants thrive off of CO2. We all emit CO2. It is a building block to life. I read a NASA study. NASA results confirm earlier research which found that 14% increase in CO2 between 1982 and 2010 resulted in 5 to 10% increase in green foliage cover in warm environments. Plant life is not just expanding in temperate regions. A 2018 study found the Sahara Desert had shrunk in an area about 8% over the previous 3 decades due to a CO2 fertilization-induced expansion of plant coverage. If you want to get rid of the CO2, we get rid of all the plants. Get all the plants, get rid of all the food, get rid of all of us. It makes no sense. We have demonized CO2 to the point where people think it's bad. It is God's blessing to us. We only have so much of it in the earth. If you look at our temperatures going back 425 million years, we're kind of cold. We're still coming out of an ice age. And things are getting better. You're 10 to 1 more likely to die in cold than heat. And it's really not getting that warm. In 1970, pulled some headlines. 75 to 80% of species would be extinct by 1995. Wrong. There won't be any more crude oil. That none of the land will be usable for agriculture in the world would be 11 degrees colder by the year 2000. Wrong. 200 million people would die each year from the starvation due to overpopulation. Life expectancy would plummet to 42 years and all ocean life would perish. Wrong. Western Europe, Northern America, and Australia will be famine by the year 2000. Wrong. Scientists at NASA predicts the coming of a new ice age within 50 years. Wrong. More than 90% of the tropical rainforest and 50% of the species would disappear within 30 years. Wrong. Moving into the 1980s, the island nation of Maldives would be completely underwater within 30 years, which wouldn't matter because experts have also predicted Maldives would run out of drinking water. Both wrong. Now moving into 2000s, Pentagon analysts warned of global anarchy due to climate change. Major European cities would be underwater by 2020, at which point Britain would suffer from a Siberian climate. Wrong. In 2008, Bob Woodward of ABC News hosted a 2-hour climate change special warning that New York City would be underwater by 2015. Wrong. In 2009, former Vice President and climate activist Al Gore predicted that the Arctic Ocean would have no ice by 2014, which is the same thing Greta Thunberg told us just in 2022. Both wrong, and the ice is still there. It's understandable that most of the world has become suspect to a lot of this. Life is getting longer. Our expectancy is getting longer. CO2 is good. Pollution is bad. We're talking about CO2 here. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The clerk will call the roll.